Thomas in trouble. Before I tell you this story, here's a deleted scene that I shall show you after I do this. There is a line to a quarry at the end of Thomas's branch. It goes for some distance along the road. Thomas is always very careful here in case anyone was coming. Peep, 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 he whistled, and then the people got out of the way, and he puffed slowly along. Early one morning, there was no one on the road, but a large policeman sitting on the grass close to the line. He was shaking a stone from his boot. Thomas liked policemen. He'd been a great friend of the constable who used to live in the village, but now, had just retired, Thomas expected that this new constable would be friendly too. Peep, peep, he whistled, "Good morning." He was sorry to see that he didn't look friendly. He was red in the face and very cross. The policeman wobbled about, trying to keep his balance. "Disgraceful," he spluttered. "I didn't sleep a wink last night. It was so quiet, and now engines come whistling suddenly behind me. My first day in the country too." He picked up his boot and hopped over to Thomas. "Oh, I'm sorry, sir," said Thomas. "I only said good morning to you." The policeman grunted, and leaning against Thomas's buffer, he put his boot on. He drew himself up and pointed to Thomas. "Where's your cowcatcher?" he asked, accusingly. "I don't catch cows, sir." "Don't be funny," snapped the policeman, and he looked at Thomas's wheels. "No side plates either." And he wrote in his notebook, "Engines going on public roads must have their wheels covered and a cowcatcher in front. You have it so. You are dangerous to the public." "Rubbish," said his driver. "We've been along here hundreds of times. And never had an accident." "That makes it worse," said the policeman, answering his question that he didn't realise. He wrote "regular lawbreaker" in his book. Thomas puffed sadly away. The inspector left the trailer. Thomas's driver told him what had happened. "Dangerous to the public indeed. We'll see about that." When the policeman arrived, he spoke to him at once. And no matter how hard he argued with him, it was no good. "The law is the law," he said, "and we can't change it." The fat controller felt exhausted. He mopped his face. "I'm sorry, driver," he said. "It's no use arguing with policemen. We'll have to make those cowcatcher things for Thomas, I suppose." "Everyone will laugh, sir," said Thomas sadly. "They'll say I look like a tram." The fat controller stared, and he laughed. "Well done, Thomas. Why didn't I think of it before? We want a tram engine." When I was on my holiday, I met a nice little engine called Toby. He hasn't enough work to do and needs a change. I'll write his control at once. A few days later, Toby arrived. That's a good engine, said the fat controller. I see you've brought Henriette with you. You don't mind, do you, sir? Asked Toby anxiously. The station master wanted to use her as a hen house, and that would never do. No, indeed, said the fat controller gravely. We couldn't allow that. Toby made the trucks behave even better than Thomas did. At first, Thomas was jealous, but he was so pleased when Toby rang his bell and made the policeman jump. They've been firm friends ever since.